Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And boy, how the turntables. We're going to talk about Midjourney, the AI company, calling out Disney, saying that Disney can't have it both ways. They can't say, hey, you can't use our stuff to train your models, and also we want to use you to make our own stuff.
Yeah. So what's going on is, if you remember, we talked about it back in June, that Disney and Universal teamed up to sue Midjourney, this AI company, because they said it was copyright infringing on their stuff. Now, to be fair, when you look at the examples, it's way closer than just, they argue fair use. It's way closer than fair use. But they also bring up a point, which we're going to talk about, which is some people just use it to generate, just to see if they can. That doesn't mean they're using it for anything, not profiting from it. And it's against their terms of service for people to profit off of it. So they basically are arguing, yes, Disney wants to do whatever. They want to be able to say they can use it, but no one else can use it either, including people that work for them that use Midjourney. So we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, so before you get into it any further, please subscribe. For more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, this is really going to be an interesting couple of years, because basically the technology has outpaced legislation. So we're going to have a lot of firsts. I mean, these companies all want to use AI, but basically they want to be able to use AI. They don't want anybody else to be able to use AI to easily replicate their stuff. But they want to use the same tools to make stuff for themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna
and Disney, and I brought this up yesterday on the video we did about, or day before, whatever day it was, about the other things, about Tron Ares, and it all blends together. But Disney has a problem where they want, because right now it's currently, and they admitted they're worried about this, you cannot copyright AI stuff yet. Yeah. But Disney, as we know, has gotten the copyright timeframes extended for themselves numerous times. I'm sure that their lawyers are already on it, and they're going to try to find some way to copyright it, but it'll benefit them only. So they'll be able to copyright their stuff, but you're not allowed to copyright your stuff, probably, or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they never lose. And that's what they're worried about. If they use or they use AI to do material, people can take it without copyright infringing, charges.
So this is this coming from Variety. I think they broke the story. They said, in a response filed Wednesday evening, Midjourney argued that AI training is protected fair use. Copyright law does not confer absolute control over the use of copyrighted works, Midjourney's lawyers argued. The limited monopoly granted by copyright must give way to fair use, which safeguards countervailing public interest in the free flow of ideas and information. Disney's notorious, though, for locking down. I mean, look at Mickey Mouse, the whole trademark copyright situation there. They changed the laws for Disney.
And what they'll do is, even if it's, okay, let's argue that you did something and it was technically fair use. What Disney's MO is they'll stall you out in court till they run you out of money. And they'll do whatever. They have tons of money. They assume that you don't. So they're going to stall you out and come after you and, that kind of stuff, until you have no more money left, and then the case gets dropped. If they are in the wrong, and I know they're in the wrong and they're not going to win, then they'll settle usually. But a lot of times they'll just stall you in court to try to run you out of money.
Midjourney argued that the studios are trying to have it both ways, using AI tools themselves while seeking to punish a popular AI service. According to the filing, Midjourney is a popular tool among visual effects companies and other vendors that work with Disney.
Right. They said there's a lot of people have different emails that are linked to Disney and Universal that have accounts. So they're using Midjourney, and people that they work with are using Midjourney, but they're trying to stop Midjourney.
I strongly suspect, and I didn't really think much of it until we saw the movie, but Fantastic Four: First Steps. I know that they showed that they were using sets and they were doing all this stuff, the behind the scenes that they are, but I think a lot of the background stuff, because they're using classic cars and, 50s aesthetic and clothes. I'm like, do you know what it would cost even to just render all of that, the 50s cars and the clothing and the crowd scenes and all that? I really feel like they were probably using at least some AI, but they're not going to admit to it.
Right. But that doesn't mean it's like this company's AI, because I know they have deals with other companies. And there's a difference between using AI for your own copyrighted characters and then just, using AI to generate things whole cloth. So there's a difference. But they're right. Disney's trying to have it both ways. That being said, their stuff is way closer than 25%, fair use.
what is going to have to happen, and I talked about this before, somehow if you own a character, if you have a trademark to a character or copyright on a character or something, there needs to be some sort of like way to lock that down, that is your character. And I'm talking for the little guy too, because if you come up with something and you're using AI assistants to come up with it, there's some other big corporation can come along, swipe that idea, and they can trademark it, copyright it. They've got the legal teams to do it, and then you're out of luck.
Well, I think at that point, you either have to prove that you had the base drawing. There's a human component. You either had the base drawing, or if you generate something with AI, you redraw it to show that, and then just submit the drawing, and then it's human. So that you might be able to get around it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, this is going to get really tricky because, even if you're using AI in any capacity, like, does it negate your ability to trademark or copyright something that was created with the assistance of AI? And a lot of people are using it, and especially visual effects companies, previs companies, or in the previs process, they're using it to kind of just show like, okay, this is the scene we're going for, or like concept art, right?
Yeah, proof of concept and stuff. Yeah.
And then some of that might actually make its way into the final product. So do you say, well, you can't copyright that or trademark that because you used AI to, spitball some ideas, some layouts or whatever, some costume designs for a character or something. And we know like Wizards of the Coast is using it now for Magic cards and for Dungeons and Dragons.
But the issue isn't, there's the copyright that's not copyrighted kind of thing. But the big issue here is that when does it, you're stealing IP, because you can't copyright that work, but it's completely based off of copyrighted characters. That's I think at the heart, the crux of this issue is that they're using it to generate. Now they're arguing it's against terms of service for users to copyright infringe. That being said, people might just do it on spec to see if, well, can I do this? And doesn't mean they're actually using it in any way that's, infringing. And by locking it down the whole way, they're arguing that you're not letting them use it for things that are considered fair use because, for using it for school projects, something that they would normally not care about. You're trying to block everything, and they're trying to have everything blocked, but then you're not allowed to use their stuff either. Like they want it. So they always win. And of course, because it's Disney, they always win.
Yeah, well, historically they have.
Well, that's what they're trying to do again. Yes.
Yeah. So this actually is going to shoot them in the foot regarding this, because we just talked about this the other day, and you were mentioning that like Bob Iger being all pro AI like this could help damage their case, and they said, Bob Iger said in March that the technology is an invaluable tool for artists, and you can't have it both ways. But that could bite him in the ass, because the judge could look at this and be like, yeah, Disney's all about AI when it benefits them. And
that's why I'm wondering if that's why suddenly they're not using the AI in Tron Ares and the AI that 18 months. Who spends 18 months trying to do an AI generated live action Maui character using, his face and his cousin's body? 18 months. And then suddenly like, we decided now that we're going to scrap it.
Yeah.
So I have to wonder, and it definitely ran through my mind. It's like, are you scrapping it now because there's this lawsuit?
Yeah,
and it's going to look really, really bad if
because
that why now.
I forget the movie, but Dwayne Johnson was in a movie before where he was fat, and they superimposed his face on a fat body, and then
I didn't know that's one.
Yeah, I forget. He was some kind of an agent. I forget what it was called. Forgettable. He's in so many damn movies I can't keep track. But yeah, so he was fat. He had braces, and they superimposed his face, I think, on that one. And I don't think it was a fat suit. And then, of course, people bring up the Scorpion King. He was all CGI.
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Any de-aging technology you could. That's the thing about the Dwayne Johnson thing that's so weird is like Disney's already doing the face swap thing. They've been doing it for years, right?
They did it with Luke Skywalker and Mandalorian.
They did it with Luke Skywalker. They've done it. I wish they'd done it with Han Solo, put Harrison Ford on. That would have made things a lot better, but whatever.
I don't think it was as advanced then that they could, you know what I mean?
No.
It was, but not to the level it is now.
And what's going to happen though, like I said before, is it's going to be harder and harder to tell, like what was CGI generated, what did we hire a studio to do, and what was AI generated. But this like Disney kind of has to win this one. Universal has to win this one, because we're talking the difference between a $50 million movie and a $250 million movie. And
the cost?
Yeah, the cost. And it's like they can't afford to be like, yeah, we're not allowed to use AI, or if we do it, you know, they can just train it. Like they're gonna have to work something out.
As we've been talking about in several videos, especially like involving Marvel, their budgets are too high for what they make back. So they're not breaking even, let alone making, so they're not making a profit for sure because they're barely breaking even or not breaking even at all. So if they could use AI to cut that down significantly, so you said pay 50 million instead of 200 million, then they're more likely to break even and make a profit. So they're going to try to use it. They're not going to tell you they're trying to use it, but like you said, there'll be tells.
They're already using it. They've been using it. They were using it during the pandemic. I don't know if it was Disney specifically, but they caught a couple studios using AI for their posters during the I forget.
Well, they got in trouble for using it for the one MCU show, that terrible one, the Secret Invasion.
The intro, the Shield,
the Secret Invasion.
Invasion.
And they got in trouble for in trouble for that and stuff. So it's just they started their own AI department and everything and all this stuff to make sure they're on the edge of it. Yeah, it's bad when it's against them, but it's good when it's not. Like they are totally fine with eliminating jobs and cutting people to try to get rid of redundancies to save money and use AI to replace them. That's okay, but don't you dare use the AI against them, because then it's not okay. It's only okay if they're the ones winning. That's the end. But in this case, the stuff was very, very close. Even though the picture I used in the article, they had generated a little mermaid and she's missing her arms.
Yeah, here's where I see where it's at right now, though. Like I said, is this hybrid workflow where they'll use it as a base and then they'll have their people go in. But I mean, you could shave hours, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours off of a project by using AI to as a base to start.
Well, yeah, you could. And I think that if you're using it as a base to get ideas, to figure out like a layout or something, and then you go back and then you do it yourself. So you're using human component, human hours in it. So it's a tool, not a replacement. I don't think that's as bad. I think that's copyrightable. But if you're just generating a whole cloth, that's an issue. But the problem is they're going after Midjourney, saying that their stuff's too good and it's generating their characters. And I guess they asked them to stop using their characters or allowing their characters to be used. And Midjourney didn't change it. And now Midjourney's trying to say, well, it falls under fair use. And while, yes, some usages could be fair use, the problem is that you have to usually transform. It has to be transformative. And while some of the character designs are, other ones like you could just bought the print at like a convention.
Yeah, and that's what's hard too, because some of the stuff looks
dead on. Yeah.
It looks anyway, Midjourney said that users have to adhere to the terms of service, which forbids infringing on intellectual property rights. And it is hard. Like I know a lot of them now, if you put in Disney or Pixar or something like that, because all those fake posters going around, it will not complete the request.
Yeah, but that Midjourney wouldn't do that. They wanted Midjourney to do it, and I don't think Midjourney would.
They said merely creating images similar to copyrighted works is not enough to show infringement, the company's lawyer said. They said, indeed, there are a number of legitimate non-infringing grounds to create images incorporating characters from pop culture, like those claimed by plaintiffs, including non-commercial fan art, experimentation and ideation, and social commentary and criticism. Plaintiffs seek to stifle all of them. Yeah, and the thing is if Disney's successful in this, that you can't use a Disney character in any capacity, even for criticism, then that means like every newspaper article or every, like I see these like goofy, no pun intended, but like these goofy, we do it too. Mickey, Donald, goofy, crazy images for like variety articles or rap articles or whatever. You wouldn't be allowed to do that anymore.
Well, currently you can, because the copyright images aren't copyrighted, or the AI images aren't copyrighted. You're not allowed to copyright this. Well, but it's based on copyrighted characters, so there'd be precedent.
Well, I'm just talking editorial cartoons. Like you would not be allowed. You would not be allowed to even parody Mickey Mouse in an editorial cartoon. South Park would not be allowed to use Mickey Mouse, on their show or anything like that. And then that just knocks over a domino that like you can't roast any character ever, in fair use and parody, because if you even go there, if you even create a character that could be mistaken for Mickey Mouse or one of Disney's characters, you do Peter Pan that looks too much like Disney's Peter Pan, even though, Peter Pan, there are many, many variations of Peter Pan, or some of the fairy tales they've done that are, public domain. They can come after you for that. So there's a lot kind of riding on this, like who owns what. And if Disney had their way, they'd lock it all down.
just use like plain crazy Mickey or Steamboat Willie Mickey and stuff, and they can't do jack shit. But it's just it is a mess. It is I used the analogy before. It's like all your Christmas lights into a mishmash, and you have to try to untangle them.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like what it is. But everything touches upon everything else. One light goes out, they all go out, kind of situation.
Yep.
And I think Disney has and Universal has some points, but I also think Midjourney has some points here. And it is concerning because the companies with money are able, and we know there's been a record of it. They tried this with like the whistleblower and stuff to stall them out in court, to run them out of money and just disrupt their lives. So they let them out of it. And it's a really shitty thing, but they'll do it. And, but meanwhile, they can prove that some of the people at Disney and Universal working with them are using Midjourney to do it. And they're fine with it as long as it's being used to benefit them.
Yeah, there's too much writing on it. And this is what I think is probably going to happen is that Disney and Midjourney will work out some kind of deal where Disney will pay Midjourney a shit ton of money, and then Midjourney will just
that, or they'll have to pay some kind of licensing thing. And if you want to use access to characters, but I don't know if they'll even do that because people could they'll be brand damaging. They'll try to argue brand damage. I don't know. We come at it from a creative standpoint because we do art. We do. I actually have an art degree. I know you don't know. I don't talk about it much, but I do. We do all that stuff. So we come from a creative aspect of it. So I can see both sides. They have to protect their intellectual property, but it's also the point where if you let Disney be Disney, they're going to be ridiculous about it. Nobody's going to be allowed to touch anything within 10 feet of any of their IP. Right, and that's a problem because it's and Disney, as we know, is really, really good at extending their rights on stuff, and they have the lobby money and the lobbyists and people in their pockets and stuff to do it. And it is what it is. If they don't like me saying it, I'm sorry, but everybody, it's not exactly a secret.
Copyright law was determined by Mickey Mouse. It was set.
Right, it's not exactly a secret.
Yeah.
So, are we going to wrap this up?
Let's wrap this up. So we'll keep an eye on this, guys. It's going to get really interesting. Next couple of years are going to be crazy when it comes to like AI law and all that. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.